Confirmed, Juan Pablo Montoya will race at Watkins Glen this summer, and a new high-profile race team is planning to go NASCAR racing. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I don't mean to sound like the comedy police. Lord knows I'm not funny. But now that it's confirmed that Juan Pablo Montoya will return to NASCAR later this summer, he'll drive the 2311 Racing number 50 Mobil 1 sponsored Toyota at Watkins Glen, first race in a decade. Now that that's confirmed, can we cool it with some of the jet dryer jokes? Shoot, in my video yesterday where we mentioned Montoya, half the comments about Montoya were jet dryer memes. They were funny back in the day, but man, this is a world-class race car driver, an F1 winner, an Indy 500 winner, a NASCAR winner, sports car star. It's kind of sad that much of the United States remembers him most for a fluky incident 12 years ago that really he had no control over. Maybe if he wins in September, some of the memes can finally be buried. I think Juan Pablo Montoya will contend. I mean, the next gen car is often compared to like a GT3 sports car. I know practice time is limited, but fortunately Montoya has raced at Watkins Glen plenty of times in the past. Shoot, he's won a NASCAR Cup Series race at Watkins Glen back in, I think, 2010. I think his pace will be top 10. It'll just come down to how does he do on restarts? Does he get roughed up a little bit? We saw like Kimi Räikkönen when he raced at Watkins Glen a couple of years ago. He was in contention before, he got bodied on a restart. But strictly talking about lap times, I think Montoya will be very competitive. This is fun. A little blast from the past. It's tickling my nostalgia bone. Good luck to Juan Pablo Montoya. This will be the final race the number 50 car participates in this season. Now, I referenced the comment section a moment ago. I think it's time for me to take one of those comments from Out of the Crowd. It's been a couple weeks since our last Out of the Crowd segment. In my video yesterday, a lot of y'all disagreed with my Sheldon Creed take. In fairness, perhaps my words were a little harsh. I didn't mean to be so quick to dismiss Sheldon Creed's 9 top 5 finishes this year. He's got I don't know how many second place finishes. Imagine if a few of those had turned into wins. We could be telling a completely different story. But I got several comments in my last video. I'll highlight this one from Ben Taylor. A lot of these comments kind of said the same thing. They said, geez, how in the world are we out on Sheldon Creed? His racing reference speaks volumes. Does better than plenty of others in great equipment. Guess it all comes down to wins these days. Can no longer just be an incredibly consistent driver without wins. And that's fair, and I've been high on Sheldon Creed in the past. I even defended him when RCR seemingly gave him the boot late last year. He's a Truck Series champion. Like I said yesterday, he's clearly talented. He just hasn't been able to seal the deal in any single Xfinity Series race. And it's not always his fault, but at some point, you do have to hold yourself accountable. 2.5 years in top Xfinity equipment, 0 wins. This year, he doesn't have a single stage win. He's only led like 20 laps. I never said Sheldon Creed is bad. I just said I don't consider him a top Cup Series prospect right now. I look at Corey Heim, Connor Zilisch one day. Jesse Love looks pretty sporty in that 2 car this year. What about Christian Eckes leading the truck points? Sam Mayers finally broke through and got a lot of wins, although he can be very up and down. My point is I don't consider Sheldon Creed one of the tippy top Cup prospects anymore. He's 26 years old. He's bounced between Chevy, now to Toyota this year, and the rumors yesterday is he could go to Ford next season. His 3rd different team, 3rd different manufacturer in 3 years. At this point, I'm flabbergasted. He continues to get good opportunities with good Xfinity teams. If he sticks with it, he is going to win a race. He's probably going to win many races one day. But if I was a Cup Series team owner and I was drafting prospects like this is Major League Baseball, I don't think Sheldon Creed would be a 1st round pick if we're purely talking about on-track results. I can name at least 4 or 5 guys off the top of my head that I would probably draft first. That was the point I made yesterday. My wording was a little harsh, so I understand the criticism, but I wanted to clarify my exact point today. But thank you all for leaving comments. Always fun when we can debate or disagree, even in the comment section. Let's talk about some big breaking news from yesterday afternoon. A bunch of y'all tweeted me yesterday about this, but yesterday, Andretti Global uploaded a short video onto their official YouTube channel featuring team president J.F. Thorman discussing the team's future plans. And listen closely.
We still have to close the loop, obviously, with Formula One. That's well documented, and hopefully NASCAR. And then we're going to have a race virtually every weekend.
I guess you don't really have to listen that closely. He spells it out pretty clearly. They hope to race in NASCAR soon. Andretti to NASCAR. There's been chatter about this for months now. I mean, I went back and found a post from reporter Jenna Fryer in March where she said work continues on pace on Michael Andretti's hope to enter NASCAR, which Andretti currently feels would be in partnership with an existing team. Combine that with recent reports of Honda potentially joining NASCAR. Andretti races Hondas in IndyCar, and Honda representatives have outwardly expressed interest in coming to stock car racing. Of course, there's the Gainbridge connection. They're partners with Andretti, and now they're also partners with Spire Motorsports in the NASCAR Cup Series. And Spire in recent weeks and months has made other big moves, signing Michael McDowell, signing Rodney Childers, parting ways with Corey LaJoie. Spire Motorsports is a Chevy team, but they're not the same tier that Hendrick, Trackhouse, and RCR are at. So realistically, I could see Spire being the team that Andretti ultimately partners with, and maybe a couple years down the line, we'll see how things progress. Perhaps this is Honda's entry point into stock car racing. Who knows if that turns out to be true? Some of that is years down the line, but for Andretti to directly reference NASCAR on one of their platforms tells me that whatever deal or negotiations or plan they're developing must be pretty far along. Combine that with some of Spire's recent bold moves, I think there has to be a connection there. No inside source on this, I'm just reading between the lines. The Andretti name, of course, world famous. Mario Andretti is a Daytona 500 winner back in the 1960s. Other Andrettis have raced in NASCAR through the years. Marco Andretti continues to make Truck Series starts to this day. To have the Andretti name in the NASCAR Cup Series in the modern day, likely competitive with how the next-gen platform has evened the playing field, that would be awesome for the sport. Another recognizable name for fans to latch onto, support, maybe root against. Of course, Andretti is spread pretty thin, and they are still trying to push for an F1 bid, but NASCAR would be awesome. Let me know down in the comment section below if you're buying the Andretti, Spire, maybe Honda theory, or if you think they could enter the sport in a different way. Or do you think this is all talk? I mean, NASCAR still doesn't have a charter deal done for next year, and we're like 4 or 5 months away. Time is ticking. With no new charter deal, will we continue to see new teams jump into the sport, new investors pour their money into existing shops? Will Honda still be interested without a new charter agreement? A lot of that remains to be seen. So I wouldn't say anything is a done deal, but these rumors continue to pop up every couple of months. Very, very interesting. Share your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR news, rumors, discussion, and more. The off weeks are almost behind us. The second half of the season, the push for the playoffs, for the championship is coming up. Going to be a lot of things to talk about for sure. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. Yesterday, I listed the 10 drivers who I believe have been the most pleasant surprises so far this season. You can go check that video out. I've got sort of the follow-up video coming out this weekend. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching this video, folks. I'll see you again soon.